Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of lines parallel or perpendicular to axes. This is standard A.2G in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 46 of the Redesign Practice Online STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got this line here, and we need to find a statement that best describes it. So let me open up my graph draw feature here, increase the transparency so we can draw a little bit behind there. So let's just take a look at our line right here. So it's just a vertical line, and you notice that we've got different options here, right? So we've got the line, and the equation is a little bit strange. So what we're used to seeing when we're looking at equations that are graphed is going to be the slope-intercept form, right? Y equals mx plus b, but that's not what we're seeing here. What we're seeing is just x equals or y equals. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at what that would mean, and let me just take this first one, because really it's just looking at x equals 6 or y equals 6. All right, so let's just take this x equals 6, see whether that's what we're looking for. So when x is equals to 6, right, we can just take some points. They don't give us the y, so we can supply any y we want to. So let's say y is 0. Let's say y is 3. Well, if x is 6 and y is 0, right, it's going to be right there. So that looks like that's good. If x is 0, y is 3, that's also looking good. And I just supplied these two y's. I could make y of 2, or a y of -4, or a y of -8. Or those are just whole numbers, right? It could be -2.5. All right, so this looks pretty good. I'm putting a whole bunch of dots on this line, and it looks like that's going to be it right there. So if that's x equals 6, then what is this y equals 6? Well, let's look to see what y equals 6 looks like. I'm going to move that a little bit. So if y equals 6, let's bring that over here. That means the x-coordinate can be anything I want it to be. So let's make the x-coordinate 0. Let's make the x-coordinate -5. So 0, 6 is going to be here. -5, 6 is going to be right over here. And I could have made it -4, 6. Or I could have made it +3, 6. So when I've got a y equals 6, I'm actually going to draw a line that is going to be parallel to the x-axis. So my x equals 6 is going to be parallel to the opposite axis. So x equals 6, so parallel to the y-axis. When I'm looking at my y equals 6, it's parallel to the opposite axis, parallel to my x-axis. Right, so there's my x-axis. So that's not what I'm looking for. All right, so it's not B, it's not C, it's either A or D. The question is, what is my slope? Slope is equal to 0, or the slope is undefined. All right, well, remember slope is going to be rise over run. In case we forget, really that's going to be your change in y over the change in x. Okay, so we used these 2 points right here. Let's just use those. All right, x sub 1, y sub 1, and here's my x sub 2 and my y sub 2. All right, so change in y, right? So that's going to be 3 minus 0. These are my two y coordinates. And then my change in x, my run, well, it doesn't really change, right? Because x is 6. So that's going to be 3 over 0, and that's a problem. You cannot divide by 0. So when you divide by 0, you actually get undefined, and my answer here is D.